Boltcaster is back, it is no longer disabled, and it is finally time for me to release my Boltcaster build. Before we fully get into today's video, I do just want to say if this video helps you out, or if you just like it, please drop it a like, it really helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, including more build videos, loot videos, stuff like that, definitely subscribe to the channel so you know when those videos do go up. I also stream throughout the week over on Twitch as well as YouTube, so if you want to stop by a stream, say hello, lurk, anything like that, we would love to have you. But let's get into today's video. Alright, as always, we are going to start by looking at the gear. So with our hat, we have a Leeching Flurry, Lightning Harnessing, Health, full int hat. Now I got an extremely good deal in the market. It was only 1,500 coins, gold, whatever you want to call it. And honestly, it was not priced accordingly. They probably missed a zero or a couple or whatever, but I got it for 1,500 bucks, so I had to jump on it, and now I have a Flurry build. For the chest piece, I've got Lightning Harnessing, Health, and Thrust Conditioning with Dex Con. The gloves I do need to replace eventually. We got a Elemental Aversion, Lightning Harnessing, Empowering Breaker, which obviously Empowering Breaker is not great. We'll still take it, but it's just kind of a temporary pair of gloves. For the pants, we are rocking the Koya's knee guards, and then I put health on those knee guards. I do like having just a little bit of extra, resistance against those range attacks, and they did buff it from 10 to 13, which isn't a huge buff, but it is a little bit of something for you. And then for the boot, I have Enchanted Ward, Lightning Harnessing, and Lasting Rain of Arrows with the Dex Int. I do rock Rain of Arrows, I do like it, and having that slow and bleed last 22% longer is quite nice. Obviously, for the bow itself, we have Boltcaster, and what I did is I put Keenly Jagged on mine. It's nice just to get the extra dots, and honestly, Keenly Jagged works really well for a lot of ranged weapons. For the rapier, I'm rocking a Deep River rapier that I crafted to have Vicious Omnidirectional Evade and Keenly Empowered. Works really, really well with the Leeching Flurry as well, because then you can potentially proc that Keenly Empowered, get the extra 20% damage from your evade, and your rapier can actually do quite a bit of damage against people. For the jewelry, I have the amulet, which has Health, Divine, Thrust Protection. I wear that on a lot of my builds. For the ring, we've got Purifying Heart, Lightning Damage, and Hardy with full int, so then I can use that in a mage build as well. And then for the earring, we are rocking Endless Thirst, which I have been running this in more builds, not all my builds, but definitely more builds and more frequently. And I've been really, really happy with it. I did end up putting Refreshing Toast on there just to counteract that 25% cooldown extension from the Thirst perk, and it honestly works pretty good for me. I've been pretty happy with it. But that is the gear that I've been rocking. As far as the heart rune goes, you can kind of run whatever you want. I switch it up. Right now I've got Cannon Blast, but I might put Bile Bomb or something else on. So it's totally up to you. But next, let's go take a look over at the attributes and then the mastery. Taking a look over at the attributes here, we have our pretty standard dex layout. This is actually the same exact way that I have it set up for the musket. Outside of, I take slightly different consumables. So with my Boltcaster build, somehow, I did not mean for this to happen, but somehow I perfectly got my con to 52. So then when I take a 48 con food, it puts me up to the 100 that I'm looking for. With that working out perfectly because of the way I have my con and everything set up, and I did not do that on purpose, it just worked out that way. It allows me to run the 150 int and then everything else into dex, so that puts me at 361 dex. So with the 48 con food, I would be at 100, 150, 361. That is my straightforward layout that I do for both musket and now bow. Now on to the mastery here. So we'll start with the rapier and just kind of go over this. So this is the flurry build that I've been running. I do like to run the flechet with the evade. Obviously we have the omnidirectional evade, and then we also have the leeching flurry. So running flurry is obviously a given at that point. These are the passive perks I'm running. So we do get the cooldown reduction on any hit. And then we also have it so our light attacks do a little bit more damage in that chain, so that middle swipe attack will do 8% more damage. And then we do work down to momentum, so then deal 30% increased damage on your next light or heavy after performing an ability. So when we use like your evade, if we evade into a light or heavy attack, we are doing quite a bit more damage because we have the omnidirectional evade on the rapier as well. Next, let's look at the bow. So this build I do bounce around a little bit. Currently, I'm running Rain of Arrows and Poison Shot, and then what you can do is you can either go with Penetrating Shot, or sometimes I'll go with Explosive Arrow. The third perk is definitely up to you. I just really like Rain of Arrows and Poison Shot because I do a lot of OPR, and then also for mobs and stuff like that in PvE, it's really nice to be able to hit the entire group and do some damage to them. As for the passive perks, I do run Bullseye, Surprise Attack, Opening Strike, Aim True, and Long Range on the Hunter tree, and that just gives me a lot more damage output, increases that heavy damage output as well, so our heavies fly faster and do more damage. And then on the Skirmisher side, we have the Marks to deal 10% more damage to foes suffering from a debuff, which we are applying debuffs all the time. Debuff durations last 20% longer, so then we stack that on top of our lasting Rain of Arrows. Hitting a foe below 50% health reduces all bow cooldown, so we just did a little bit of cooldown reduction. And then we have a headshot inflicting rend. Since we don't have evade shot, we needed one perk up there. And then I do go for evasive tactics, so we get the 15% more damage for 5 seconds after dodging. So a lot of it's just kind of built into more damage output, debuffs lasting longer, and then a little bit of cooldown. But that is my Boltcaster build. This is what's been working for me. Definitely change it up, see what works best for you and your build. I am not the best bow player, but next I do have some gameplay of my Boltcaster in action in some OPRs. Alright, that is going to do it for today's video, so until next time, I'll see you guys later.